Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God. And this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Drop me a comment. You have to click that bell icon for all notifications. You have to literally click all notifications. YouTube, for some reason, makes it a little challenging. Click that all notifications on the bell to know when I go live each and every single weekday. I hope everybody is having a great day today. Today is Thursday. So Evan, welcome in. So one of the things that, oh, you're at the gym. Nice, brother. I hit that up every morning. I think you're aware of that. One of the things I'm going to try out from a formatting perspective on Tuesdays and Thursdays for most weeks, let's fucking go, is I'm going to turn the live stream into a TA Q&A, right? So we could talk a little Bitcoin. That's fine. There's nothing exciting going on with price. As I've said before, I'm not going to come out here and throw nonsense at you for clicks. The reality is price is just chipping and chopping away. We've been stair-stepping down, although there is an observation I did want to point out to you in price. But yeah, there's just nothing really exciting going on. We just have to be patient. And so this is a great opportunity in order for you guys to come out here, drop your questions like Oof is doing with Riot. Riot's a miner, a Bitcoin miner, excuse me. And we can chart things and we can take a look at it together. So I hope everyone's week is starting off really well. I have to say, in particular, yesterday and today for me personally have been really positive days. I might not sound very excited right now. Simply sorry for not bringing the enthusiasm today. I didn't sleep the best last night, to be honest. But I'll come back with more energy tomorrow and get some sleep tonight. But I have to tell you, these past 2 days for me have been so, I'm not sure if you guys caught the live stream last Thursday when I returned, but they've been such good days for me. It feels good to just feel like myself, just in the gym, working out. Man, I can't express to you. I just have these moments when I'm working out, and I just really appreciate the weight I'm pulling or pushing, the weight I'm lifting, the ability to just sweat and actually have some level of intensity with my workouts. I'll just smile. I'll just be smiling in the gym. It just puts me in a good mood. And really, again, as I've shared, I've been working out all my life, literally. So to have that structure and component back in my life, it just feels great. I just feel like myself. I've had really good workouts. Not sure if you guys follow me on Instagram at CryptoBullGod, but I finally was able to throw 345s back on the squat bar and just go up to the squat rack and actually fucking squat like I used to squat. I repped out 8 repetitions on back squat for at 315 like it was nothing. Like I haven't missed a beat. So I just feel so good. Sun's starting to come back out. I'm gonna get some beach time this weekend and good time. Intentionally, I'm gonna take some time to myself, just some good time to meditate, get away. I would encourage everybody to do that. Life can get really busy, and sometimes what we do, I don't know if you find this, but sometimes I will have distractions in my life to really not. Sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's not intentional, but sometimes I have distractions in my life that prevent me from thinking about some of the things that I should be focused on and thinking about. And so it's really good to have time to just, thumbs up everybody, appreciate the support. I'm seeing 6 times the amount of viewers as likes. I have 6,000 people in here. Come on, need to see 6,000 likes. No, I find that. I think it's good. Someone actually just shared this with me recently. They found from being around me a lot that when I'm moving about and doing things, I'm always listening to something, right? I do love learning, And I'm always generally listening to podcast. I'll just call them podcasts, but YouTube channels, things about the economy, things about crypto. Sometimes I like to take a break from all that stuff and focus in on sports. So I'll be listening to 94 WIP, Philadelphia Sports. Whatever the case, though, it's good to sometimes just detach. I actually would like to. It's something I have spoken about, but it's something. Maybe this is the year to do it. I'd like to go on a vacation where I turn my phone on airplane mode, and my phone is only used for photos. And maybe I turn it back on for the GPS feature, although I could use the car for that. But I'd like to just completely remove myself from social media, completely remove myself from my phone. I don't want a phone call. I don't want a text message. It's one of the things. This is kind of getting, by the way, I'm curious if anybody here, we're going to have time for Q&A. Don't worry, guys. Drop your comments in here. I'm going to chart out whatever you'd like me to. I'm curious. I didn't really get too much engagement on this. A few people reached out, but I did tweet out, and I'd like to get everyone's thoughts who's joining this live stream. Feel free to drop a comment on this, as well as dropping a comment if you're watching this after it has published. I really would like to know your feedback on this. If you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, you know the way that I started off my YouTube channel. I had no idea what I was doing, what direction things would go, and lo and behold, now I'm very passionate about this and see a lot of big things in the future. I originally started off with something called the CBG podcast, and it was just an audio-only, free-flowing discussion about crypto, random things, sometimes some technical. I would talk about technical analysis. And so, I don't know, it just struck me the other day. I was sitting out on my porch, and I was thinking to myself, I kind of want to get back to doing an audio-only stream. And I don't know. Part of me thinks maybe I would just do it on my laptop. I'd be out and about. Maybe I'd be on location somewhere. Maybe I'd just be here. Whatever the case is, maybe it would be a live stream. I would engage with you guys. Maybe it would be recorded some weeks and I would release it. It would just be once per week. And the focus point of the CBG podcast, what I was thinking is, it'd be about crypto. It'd be about traditional markets. And it'd be about whatever the hell else I want to talk about. It could be fitness related. It could be drawing on some past experiences I've had in life to try to help other people out and provide some motivation for you guys to get up there and keep plugging away, because life can be very challenging. But no charting. We're not going to, it wouldn't be anything, it would be different, very different from that perspective. So would appreciate any feedback on that. Kyle, thank you for the feedback, and welcome in. All right, guys, with that being said, I hope everybody's week is going well. Mine has been going very, very nicely. I've really appreciated these past couple days. So one of the interesting things that I've noticed on the 12-hour chart, okay, now, the basic building blocks of a bullish narrative are higher highs and higher lows, right? The basic building blocks of a bearish narrative are lower lows and lower highs. And unfortunately, what we've been doing here over the short term is this, right? We've been stair-stepping down. The other thing I want you to take notice of is what's going on with the RSI, right? The RSI has been going down in a stair-step fashion. But do you notice anything recently? Now, I spoke to this literally 2 days ago. I said the one thing you want to watch for to begin to have some level of conviction that we've bottomed around this level, and we could have one last dip towards this green line here, but if you want some level of confidence that, in all relativities, we've essentially bottomed, whether, the bottom here was at 38,505, or whether we truly do go down to around 37,950, we're splitting hairs, okay? If you get caught up on a $500 swing in Bitcoin, you're not going to make it in this market. One of the things I said to watch for was bullish divergence on the RSI. I'm starting to see, now that price is going sideways here, that the RSI has remained relatively stable here. And I'm anticipating, it's almost like I've looked at these charts enough to anticipate it. Whether we get a move up now towards the 50 simple moving average and get rejected around 43,000, or whether we sort of roll over south of that, maybe we hit just shy of 42,000 and roll over. The way this RSI is positioned right now, I'm fully anticipating whether the correct line is like this or is like this or however you want to draw it. I'm fully anticipating the RSI at this point to do something like this. Okay? And then continue. And then continue. And that's going to be our indicator on the 12-hour chart that we're really going to start to see a strong bounce. And then we can do something like this. And then next week we can have a discussion about this bullish divergence in the RSI. That's what I'm anticipating to play out within the chart. And again, I don't see anything super exciting happening with the Bitcoin price action over the course of the next handful of weeks here, right? I said, for me personally, I don't think action is really going to start picking up maybe towards the end of February, but more so towards March. Something else I wanted to give some discussion to at some point, probably next week, is, given this is my primary expectation, whether we top in, May, June, July, and that's our blow-off top, we need to have a conversation about, well, when does this start to sort of get voided? And my alternative hypothesis, which I said would be, well, it's still earlier than what most people are anticipating. Maybe the blow-off top isn't until the fourth quarter of this year, which part of me is actually really hopeful for that, given how much, in particular, CASPA I accumulated in late 2023, mid to late 2023, could take advantage of those long-term capital gains taxes. Maybe we won't top until, late 2024, very early 2025. Well, when would I start to feel like this scenario topping in the first half for Bitcoin would become void? I think we're going to have that conversation next week, because I am not in the camp of thinking in a month or two price is just going to shoot up towards $200,000. I think we need to live in the realm of reality and not believe in leprechauns and unicorns, right? XRP is not going to $100. Bitcoin is not going to $500,000. XRP isn't going to $20, in my opinion. That's not happening anytime within the next couple years. So we need to be realistic with what we can anticipate within price. Let me see who else. Jorge, welcome in, my friend. What up, baby? I still don't have my voice back. I can't fully get there yet. No comments on blockchain backer. I don't want to talk smack on anyone, but I've shared my thoughts on him plenty of times in the past. So I don't want to go there. All right, let's see. Do I have a chart for? I do have a chart for Riot. So Oof would like an update on Riot. Guys, feel free, like both Oof and Jorge have done, drop your comments, drop your TA questions within the comments, and that's what today's live stream is all about. This is a 2-week chart. There's a lot of price action here, or a lot of price data, so I'm going to keep it on the 2-day. By the way, shout out to Waterloo, cherry limeade, very good flavor. Would you like to be a sponsor of the channel, Waterloo? All right, what do we got here? Looks like the last time we charted this, we were in the same area back here. Not a lot of new things to report here. Areas of resistance and support still apply. MACD looks like it. We're early in this, right? Yeah, this doesn't print till. Oh no, this prints on the 29th. We don't want to see the MACD ideally cross down. Let's look at the weekly real quick. We've already seen a cross down here. Just working my mojo. Now, one interesting observation. This is what happens when you chart enough charts for enough years. There are just common things that you look for. So one of the things, Oof, I would point out to you, which is nice to see, all the meanwhile, and even while the price was actually going down, we started to build these higher lows within the relative strength index. Yes, this technically here, from this starting point here, to here. This isn't bullish divergence. There was bullish divergence back here. But the reason I'm pointing out the length of this entire movement within the relative strength index is because what I like to see is, as price, there's always a story that can be created within the price data and the price indicators, okay? So what I like to see here is, as price has continued to consolidate in this area, very healthy price movements here, the relative strength index has been creating higher lows the entire time. There has been continued strength, in other words, that has been building in price action, which is really good to see. You can actually see it panning out on the 2-week too, on a higher time frame, which is a more credible and meaningful view, okay? Especially with as much price data that is presented on this chart, okay? It's really good to see. Stochastic RSI, it's crossing below 20 on the 2-week, which is never good to see. 20 is that trigger line, so we want to get back above. Let's see how this week prints, but for now, my conclusion on this chart is we're just consolidating within this area here. Let's hold this 200 simple moving average at about, let's just call it $10. Let's stay above 10, and that's on a candle body closing basis on a 2-week, okay? We could see volatility going below 10. That's fine. But as long as we maintain candle body closes above the 200 simple moving average, I'm fine with this chart. I would anticipate as we continue to see price expansion on the Bitcoin chart, and as well as momentum begin to pick up in the alts, which I think we're not very far away from, you're going to see this thing blast past $20. Thank you for the question. Good question. What else do we got here, my friend? Evan, a 2-week cruise sounds nice. I actually brought up about cruising to somebody recently. What cruise line do you prefer? I used to go. There was a period in my life when I did do cruises. I've gone on a few cruises, and I had very good experiences. I always used Royal Caribbean. Very good cruise line. Always had an awesome time. I was somebody who needed to be talked into going on a cruise. I thought to myself, why would I want to pay money to be on a ship? But that was a very narrow-minded, uneducated view of what a cruise can offer, okay? So thankfully, I went with this person. We went a few times. Cruise, by the way, it was a girl. Cruise, I had this conversation too. Dudes don't go on cruises together, all right? Look, all right? There are just some things like common sense you do and don't do. I'm not going up to my bro, a friend of mine, and I'm like, yo, Kevin, you wanna go on a cruise next March? Look, no homo. Look, I don't care what team you're batting for, but it sounds a little gay. Just saying. It doesn't sound like a typical. Every friendship is different, but it doesn't sound like the typical straight thing a guy would say to another about going on cruises together. Now, couples going on cruises together is different. If you're in a relationship, like I'm in a relationship with someone, Kevin's in a relationship with someone, and the four of us go on a cruise, that's different. But for me to ask my guy friend to go on a cruise, it's a little sus. It's a little sus. Women, it's different. It's funny how things apply differently cross-gender, right? Women can go on cruises together and no one would think anything of it. But guys, no. Let's go golfing. Let's go to a sporting event. Let's grab a drink. No, not happening. But I would like to go on another cruise again. There's just so many fun things to do on the ship, and you can stop off at different locations. I've been to the Cayman Islands. I've been to Cozumel, Mexico. I've been to the Bahamas. I've been to there was one other place I feel like. Just great time. So curious what cruise line. Let me go to the bottom here. Super great. No homo. Like nothing against anyone. It's a guy fact. Like, I've never heard of straight guys asking other guys friends to go on cruises. Like, it's just not what you do. Royal Caribbean seems like one of the best ones. Absolutely. And I've heard Norwegian is really good, but I don't know. I've never been on Norwegian ship lines. Evan, you need to ask why your brain hurts. If you're day trading, that would be why. That's why. I know you're commenting on there. Jorge does have a question here. We need to check SHX. SHX. I don't know what that is. What is that? Oh, this is the project that you had wanted me to take a look at yesterday, correct? Pretty sure. You don't have to respond to that. I think that's a rhetorical question. I'm pretty sure, because I think after the fact you had indicated that. Okay. As you can see, I was charting a leaf, which I do not have a position in, but would consider taking a swing trade play at some point. All right, let's take a look at Stronghold, ticker symbol SHX, USD, perhaps USDT it looks like. Let's go to Bittrex. We can't go there. Let's go here. This is on the 12-hour. Do we have enough price data? Oh, this has had a really nice move. This volatility wick. So because the auto scaling for TradingView, that volatility wick is what's screwing us up. Let's take off auto. So you can see, ignore the noise back here. Once we enter 2023, you can see what's going on here. This is just all consolidation. This is just consolidation. Now we've had that massive move up, right? We've gone from about, I hate charts like this because they're so fractionalized. The USD value is so fractionalized. It's like 0.05 cents. Just look at the percentage gain. That's all I was trying to share with you. This is so stupid. I think it did like a 6x. So from around this range up to here, yeah, we did a 800x. Okay, so the most important thing to keep in mind, if you're not in something that makes a move like this, you don't want to start chasing this move. This could collapse at any point, okay? You have to allow the market to come back to you. You're not chasing, as an example, you're not chasing on the way up here. You're not chasing on the way up here. You're using education and logic to say, okay, well, perhaps I'll use the 10 simple moving average or the 20 simple moving average on the daily chart as a buy, as my area to buy, right? So when we hit these levels, you have a buy limit order set that you're riding this, and then maybe you have a stop loss limit, 5% below or whatever, but you're riding this and maybe you get stopped out once we close below the 10 SMA. That's how you do it properly. You allow the price to come to you. You don't chase price. But for right now, at the moment, we're seeing some very expected healthy consolidation, by the way. We haven't seen a drastic pullback. You can see we have some descending resistance there. The 10 and 20 are sort of wibbling and wobbling away here. Let's just get out. Let's just look at the 20 simple moving. How about the 50, actually? Okay, so we're getting close to retesting the 50 simple moving average. What I would do, I would first ask, where could we see potential areas of support? Of course, we have one area right there that we've already hit around the 0.0033. Okay, it looks like there's another area right about there. I love this area right here. Now, the other thing I love about this second area of price confluence, Jorge, and you should know this from prior live streams, this area of price confluence right here, it intersects the 50 simple moving average on the daily. We love price confluence on this channel. So this area right here at about 0.28 cents, I think that would be a great potential buying opportunity. If we lose, okay, so if I was, never financial advice on this channel, but if I was looking to establish a position, I would scale in beginning at the 0.28 cent area. I would then identify another zone, which absolutely looks like it's at the 0.23 area. That would be my second zone. And then my bottom area here, right around here. So my buy area, Jorge, personally, for me, would be, this isn't me telling you what you should do. This is me evaluating the chart and telling you what I would hypothetically do based on education. So what I would do is I'd identify this entire area. And especially, the thing is, we could wick below this bottom area at 0.18 cents at the bottom here. But the thing you have to realize, because this is a smaller market cap, and I've shared this with you guys plenty of times, you're going to have a higher degree of volatility with that smaller market cap, right? There's an inverse relationship which exists between how high the market cap is and how high the volatility is, right? The higher the market cap, the lower the volatility. The lower the market cap, the higher the volatility. It looks like, I don't know what that is. But so because this has a very low market cap, you're going to have a high degree of volatility, right? Now, what about areas of resistance? Well, we have our descending area of resistance. There's a very obvious area right there at 0.47 cents. 0.47 cents is a major area of resistance. There's a lot of price wicks coming up there. And then I would just keep it stupid simple and put in the all-time high, which looks like it's coming in at 0.545 cents, right? So that's how I would play it, Jorge. That is how I would play it. I hope you found that helpful. Price indicators, by the way. We didn't look at the price indicators. Yeah, MACD. Not surprising. We have this declining RSI. Looks like we could have a falling wedge on the RSI, actually. We could get some sort of a temporary breakup. Let's see. Yeah, I like this setup. For me personally, I like a setup like this. So what we could potentially see if the RSI, the falling wedge, because the thing is, a falling wedge is a bullish pattern. It's just a question of whether there'll be trend continuation to the upside or whether you just get a temporary bounce. If you appreciate the education and logic, guys, please help the live stream with a thumbs up. Very, very appreciated. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well for everyone tuning in. If you're new to the live stream, make sure that you drop a comment to introduce yourself. But with a falling wedge on price data, the same philosophy that we would apply to price data with a falling wedge is the same philosophy that we can apply to a falling wedge on a price indicator like a RSI. So what I could potentially see playing out here, if you were in for a small swing trade play, maybe we do get that little volatility wick down towards or at least very close to the 50 simple moving average. This RSI, I could absolutely see this playing out. I'll be curious if this actually happens next week. I could see the RSI coming all the way down to this area, and then we break out of the RSI, we break up with price, maybe we double top, okay, we double top towards that 5.5 cents or whatever I said it was, and then we start our retrace, and then we re-enter, or we enter this golden pocket, and then we come down here on the RSI. I'll be interested to see if that plays out next week, but that's at least what I see in the chart. I've seen a lot of these setups before, and that's what kind of sticks out to me. All right, we got a lot of comments here. Let me see what's going on. Ooh, I got a super chat from somebody. I don't know who that is. I'll find out in a moment, but thank you very much. Looks like it might be Kyle, but let me scroll down. All right, hold on. I'm seeing some crazy price targets here. Mr. BBC, you think Caspa going to $10? I don't think Caspa is going to $10. I've never said that. No, I don't think Caspa is going. At least, in the long term someday, could it hit $10? Sure, but I'd rather focus on the immediate future, like this year, next year. And you should know from my videos what I think is realistic, but $10. Now, if there was a keep in mind in that video, if you're referencing, I think you may be, but I'm not sure where. Hey, when I had projected out Cardano-matic in Litecoin, I did give the theoretical value of Caspa matching those market caps at the various projections for those other three crypto assets, but I highlighted the price range that I thought was the realistic price range for it to hit, right? 2 to 4. 2 to 4 was my guidance, possibly as high as 5, but $10 I do not see happening. No, I don't see Caspa hitting $10 this year. I do not see Caspa hitting $10 next year. Yes, and XRP, my predominant view is it hitting somewhere around 5. I think $7 is a possibility, but my primary view is it breaking the all-time high and hitting about $5. Education, logic, and charting, Jorge, all of which I've spoken to before. Casey, one credible crypto scratches your itch better. I don't understand your comment. I just want this shit to jump and I'll be 60% out. Jorge, I'm not following your comment on credible crypto scratches your itch better. I don't know what you mean by that. Black Oil's in the house. What's up, my friend? Yeah, you don't need to ask me twice. We can check out Kizuna. Kizuna? I'm not familiar with that. Kyle also has a super chat. Thank you so much. Super chats are never expected, but always absolutely appreciated, and always viewed I always view it as tipping your waiter is how I look at it, or tipping for service. I mean, it's always appreciated, guys, very much. Kyle, you did spell butt wrong. The B-U-T-T is the gluteus maximus. I think you talked about it yesterday, but where do you see tau pulling back to, and 2 is spelled wrong. Sorry, it's like nails on a chalkboard, Kyle. Sorry, 2 is spelled wrong too. I'm also providing you grammar and spelling feedback for your $5 super chat. So but and 2 are both spelled incorrect, Kyle. We need to work on that. Where do you see tau pulling back to for a good entry? We'll take a look at that right after, Kyle, we're going to take a look at that right after I chart Black Oil's question here, Kazuna, and then we'll get to I promise to get to your question. Okay, so let's take a look at Kazuna. Haven't heard of this token before, and this would be why. It's on no exchange. Oof. That's nasty. What the hell's going on there? Always pisses me off. Auto. Oh, man. Greg, you got a tough one here. Volume's so low on this. The volume's so low on this beach. We're looking at a daily. We're looking at descending resistance. The moving averages are pretty worthless. I don't really want to have to go down to a 12-hour, Greg. Well, interestingly enough, I will say this. One thing I do see as a potential here, believe it or not, is some sort of a pennant. I mean, you do have the possibility for a pennant here. Of course, you could say it's a descending triangle, but I see the pennant. So what we have is, pole. What we have is a pole and then a pennant. We could have some consolidation in here and a further breakup. But so that's one idea looking at this. Of course, this has like shit volume, so it's a little harder. It's a little harder to decipher statements you can make with conviction on this one, just because the volume's so low. So let's get into areas of resistance and support. This is going to be an area of resistance. Now, one of the ideas that you want to make sure that you're exhibiting within your charting is when you're drawing areas of price confluence, the more wicks and even candle bodies that you can get on a horizontal line, the more impactful or meaningful that area of price confluence is. And so that's why I have it drawn here, right? I didn't immediately go up to the all-time high here. We can draw it there, but the reason that I have it drawn here, and I would actually prefer to draw it there, you have a price wick here, you have a price wick here, 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 here. So I have like 4 or 5 touches, right? So one of the general principles you want to keep in mind. I don't want to clutter up the chart too much. There's like another area right around there. You can see we're coming up to it. How about areas of support? Well, there's another area. Obviously, the black horizontal line there is an area of support. Have another green area of support right there. Of course, a couple other ways you could draw this, Greg. You could also do that. You could do this. Okay, there's all sorts of different ways. But for the moment, unless we get a major breakdown, price looks like it might just be wanting to coil in here, waiting for a possibility for further expansion to the upside. But in order for me to feel convinced that is the case, I want to stay in this consolidation pattern no matter how you draw it. If we start breaking below, I'll give you an area. If we start breaking below candle body wise, if we start breaking below about this line here, I would not feel very convicted on that idea. I would feel a lot less convicted. Of course, you could technically start drawing lines like this, like we have on Caspa. So we'll have to see how price data plays out, but that's what I see on that one, black oil. All right, we got the super chat going on. Oh, you're welcome. Hey, Greg, you didn't have to do that. Thank you so much. Very appreciated, kind sir. Tau. So we have another question on Tau. So, Kyle, we just looked at Tau yesterday, but where you are refining what we've looked at yesterday, you're asking about where we could see a potential pullback to. I feel bad because we kind of answered this yesterday, but you did super chat me. So let me reiterate some of the things I've shared yesterday. A big shout out to Black Oil. I commented, don't know if you caught that, Greg. I don't know if you saw it or not. I haven't been current on Twitter. Shout out to Greg0816, the Black Oil here, who was the one talking about Tau within these live streams when it was back at about 40, 50 bucks. Okay, so let's kind of recap what's going on. We've broken the descending resistance. We almost back tested the descending resistance as support for a spring up, which is very bullish. Now, this is on a daily chart, and the way that you want this candlestick to print is we definitely want to see this print green. If this body closes red today, Kyle, that is a clear sign to me that there is a very heightened probability that we're going to see a further pullback here, okay? It already, based on the size of the wick, even if this prints green, it already leads me to conclude that we may have a temporary top here, okay? But the other thing you have to keep in mind with a lot of these volatile assets, you get a lot of these shapes on candlesticks where you're making very educated and logical conclusions based on a candlestick, but they do the opposite of that. And there's a couple reasons. One, we have a small market cap asset that's in the infancy of its development and chart data. And two, there is no single candlestick and there is no single indicator that can ever tell you with certainty what's going to happen. But we'll have to see how this daily candlestick prints. Bottom line that you want to look for, Kyle, here is you don't want as long a wick here at the top, all right? We don't want the big wick, and we certainly don't want a red body. Those things are going to increase the probability. The temporary top is in at 378. Now, if we do get a pullback, where could we potentially see prices come back to? That is at the crux of Kyle's question. And so that is what we're going to take a look at together. Now, the first what I would say is obvious observation that I have here, which is very bullish for the chart, if I was looking to establish an entry, one of the things I would personally consider is this ascending line right here. You see that? I'll make it a different color so we can all see it together. So what's happening here, and you can draw this a couple different ways. The more touches, the better. Touchy, touchy. Right like that. You see how as we broke descending resistance, we've been riding this trend all the way up, right? So if we do come down, one of the things I would theorize is that we're going to get very close to, we're going to touch or go slightly below this ascending line here, okay, on a price wick basis. But if the trend remains super duper strong, we're going to come down here and ride this on a candle body closing basis and just continue up. Now, it doesn't mean the chart's weak if we close a candle body in this area. We're still getting the higher lows coming in here. But that's number one, what I would look for. Number two is the other interesting thing that's going on within price data is this 50 simple moving average. Again, every chart tells a story. You can see that the astronomical rise in these two moving averages. See how they're moving up at a very high incline? That's because price data was rising on a steep incline, right? Well, then we saw the 20 start to decline. Well, the 20 has started to round out and go up. It wants to cross back above the 50. We can see the 50 was starting to curl like it wanted to curl down, but now it's sort of flattening out. So long as price can remain relatively in this area, what's going to happen is the 50 is going to kind of stay in this area here, and the 20 is going to want to come up and cross, which is very bullish, right? So to directly answer your question and say, where will prices pull back to? The first thing I would caution you is I do not know where price is going to pull back to. Nobody knows. But what does this chart tell me is most probable? And if I was personally looking to establish an entry or increase how much holdings I currently have a bit sensor, where would I be buying at? Well, I mean, pretty simple. I would be buying. Nope. I would be buying anywhere in here. Now, you just said to me that the most bullish thing is riding this trend. Why wouldn't you expect it to be more in this area? No, this is a volatile asset. You could get a price wick that comes all the way down into this area. There's a probability we could come, there's absolutely a probability we could come all the way down here and essentially double bottom right at this level. That's absolutely possible. There's a probability we could break 210. Now, I don't want to see 210 break. And I certainly don't want to see, let me just say this. I certainly do not want to see, what was this, 190? Yeah, 192. I do not want to see that level break. That's my line in the sand. Because if 193 breaks, now you're opening up the floodgates to potentially $120, right? So my golden buy pocket, Kyle, to directly answer your question based on price confluence, is anywhere between the 50 simple moving average, which is at 280. Although for me, that would be an aggressive buy. I would be targeting more like my darker green area would be anywhere around the 20 simple moving average. Now, this moving average is going to change. Anywhere around the 20 simple moving average to this ascending line, okay, the blue ascending line, down to 240. Anywhere around the 20 simple moving average to 240 would be my main area. The 20 simple moving average is sitting at 250, but it's increasing in value. So really, you're going to have to follow the 20 simple moving average to keep up with this. But based on it increasing, it's probably going to be at about 260, 265. So anywhere between main areas, 265 all the way down to 210. That would be absolutely my area to accumulate a lot more of this. So, and again, don't want to see 192 break. If that breaks on a candle body closing basis, that would be concerning to me that we could drop as low as in the 120s. Hope you found that helpful. Yeah, momentum's beginning to pick up in this. We may not get a pullback, or we could get a very shallow pullback. Maybe we only pull back to the 50 simple moving average at 280. It all depends on your risk tolerance level. You could put in some stagger buy orders at 280, 270, 260, 250. The one thing that you do want to do, Kyle, and this is a note to everybody who puts in buy limit orders, the most noob thing you can do is to put in a buy limit order at 280. That's the most noob thing to do. If you think that 280 represents an area of price confluence, set up your buy for $280.37. If you think it's 265, set it up for 265.34. Do you see what I mean? You need to front run that perfect area because everybody else is going to be, all the algorithms, bots, and everybody else knows 280 and 265 is a good buy area. You have to front run that nice, cute, even number. Just like it's the same principle I speak to on this channel when I say, if you think XRP is going to $5, okay, you don't put a sell limit order in at $5. This is the most noob thing to do. You put in a sell limit order at 474, 487, all right? Don't ever think that you're going to perfectly call a bottom or top. You will, if you're here long enough, you will call a near perfect bottom or top on something. But it's one of the worst things that can happen to you if you allow it to get to you. Don't ever think that because you called a perfect top or bottom on one asset, that all of a sudden now you're going to be calling perfect tops and bottoms on other assets. It's a very, very rare likelihood that's going to happen for somebody. So you can't expect that's going to be the norm. The critical thing to being a successful investor, in my opinion, is to be able to DCA, dollar cost average, in and out of investments over the long term at Sensco levels. All right, let me see. What other... Yeah, Casper's been lagging a bit. I was actually charting that earlier today. All right, guys, I don't see any other questions coming in, and I was going to tune out the live stream at around 6, if not before. We're about at 6, so I'm going to let you guys go. I will be back here tomorrow. I know on Friday sometimes I'm kind of iffy if I come on a Friday, but I will be here tomorrow. I do plan after the live stream tomorrow to binge on the new He-Man cartoon that's coming out on Netflix, which I will remind everybody about tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. I hope everyone is having a great week. I hope to see you back here tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're going to cover tomorrow. I'll try to come up with an agenda. I don't know what time I'm live streaming. I can tell you with almost certainty that it's going to be before 5 o'clock. It'll be before 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'd be surprised if I come out here as late as 5 o'clock. I'm probably going to want to wrap up a little earlier, given it's a Friday. So we'll see. It might be 4 o'clock, 4:30, somewhere around there. And based on what I have to cover going into the weekend, I'll try to leave a little bit of extra time at the end for some TA Q&A. So until tomorrow, everybody take care of yourselves. Have a good rest of the evening. And until next time, or morning or afternoon. And until next time, everybody, let's all spread awareness and let's carry the education forward. Take care, guys.